Then you have cloth diapers versus throwaway. And I mean, that is the thing right now. I mean, all of these college girls that used to be in our college class, I mean, they are so into cloth diapers, and I'm like, no. Like, it was the most awesome thing to throw that into. I had a diaper genie, but I used it like twice, and I'm like, I did not get this. Like, I twisted it in. So I just threw them in the trash and changed my kids on the floor and didn't use the changing table. And then Dagum came along, and that was bad. Like, he was in Africa with diarrhea, and I wore gloves up to here. Like, the first time I changed him, I'm like, this is my new child. You know, you're like, I don't know what he has, but anyway. So I mean, we throw all of these assumptions and all of these thoughts at each other, and then you have organic food versus non-organic food, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my kids are probably gonna have cancer because I gave them like non-organic food, and you know, it goes on, and we're like, we have our opinions for sure. And I did all of those. I've given my opinion, and of course you speak up louder whenever someone's given their opposite opinion, and you're like, well, I'm going to tell what I think. You wonder if they're convictions, if they're just opinions, which is it, does it matter? And then you have, which is coming up, and I'm sure there'll be crafts and things to do together with MOCHA, you have the holidays approaching. Oh my goodness. It's exhausting, like, with what can come up with people's convictions over those things. You know, there's things like Halloween that's going to come up, and there's things that we never really pray about. We just latch onto something and we have our opinion, and we're going to go with it. But you think about that there's maybe this really God-centered pastor that takes his kids trick-or-treating, and then there's this lukewarm Christian sitting in a pew that says, that is from Satan, it's wrong. Then you get on Facebook or you get on a blog and there's a 500-page dissertation about why this is the worst thing ever. And then there's another one on the opposite side. And you seem to latch onto one thing and say, that is it and I believe that. Biblical? I don't know. But you think back about our parents, which makes me laugh. They didn't have Facebook. They didn't have blogs. They didn't have all of that. They just did whatever the tradition was that their parents did. And we all survived. We all made it. It's all good. You know, most of us didn't turn to Satan. Most of us, you know, it's like we all made it through. Those kind of things we can debate, and you wonder, are those convictions God gave me, or are they just my opinion and my preference? And I'm sure that some of you guys are sitting here going, well, I know what's right and I know what's wrong, and you were wrong, you know, or you were right. I mean, that happens. So I'm going to ruffle your feathers more. There's things with Santa Claus versus Satan Claus. I have a friend that has a whole thing she puts out every year on Facebook about how Christmas should be. And it's long. It's really long. And you read it and you're like, you will either latch onto it or you don't. And I've latched onto some things, and then now I've let some things go. But just so much coming at us. And it's like, where do you go with that? You know, what do you do in a group of women? Where do you take it? What do you say? Is it okay to have those opinions? Then there's the elf on the shelf. Okay, I do have a conviction about it. He scares me. I literally will not, I'm not having him in my house. I mean, that scares me to death. So, that's